Welcome to the Vintage Vibe, where today we're going to look at Phase Linear's 700B. Yup, 700 watts RMS of pure 70s muscle. Enough to blow your favorite speakers or get you evicted. The crazy thing is the needles aren't even moving and the thing sounds good. I mean, real good. So this thing here is kind of like, take a DJ amp, throw a little bit of jewelry on it, put some big obnoxious VU meters that are just pure 1970s, light it up so everyone knows exactly what you got underneath the hood, sit back, hold on, get your hair blown all over the place just like in that 1980s Maxwell poster. Check out the size of this power transformer. It's huge. It is just massive. It's the majority of the weight of this unit. Big heat sinks. Inside, let me show you the capacitors. Now I'm telling you right now, those things are bigger than your average beer can. Check out the size of them. Twin capacitors, plenty of reserve for when you got it cranked up loud and that bass drum's kicking. Didn't take too much to get it going. In fact, just a couple resistors, a couple small caps, and it's found itself right here in the living room, at least for this evening. So how's the 700B sound? Well, at first I had it connected to a Yamaha C2 preamplifier, and it sounded a little bit thin. I knew something was up, and now it may be the preamplifier because it was just in for some service. So I connected to the pre-outs of the Onkyo A7 integrated amplifier, and the amp really came to life. Again, it's a complete beauty, and it's got lots of control of the bottom end, and I'm figuring it's due in part to that power supply. I had to pull the covers off the little PSBs just to check to make sure the speakers weren't being pushed too hard. They weren't even moving, and that's a sign of a good amplifier with a healthy power supply, lots of control, and low distortion. Part of it again is that proper match between the preamp and the power amplifier, because at first the top end was a little harsh and I thought, oh geez, you know, what a shame. But as I dialed back that gain a little bit and I turned it up at the preamplifier side, it all seemed to go away and it became a heck of a lot smoother. Nice match. So talking about match, here is the proper, or the original I should say, match to that amplifier. It's the 4000 autocorrelation preamplifier made by Phase Linear. This was kind of Bob Carver's invention that kind of incorporated some unique spatial equalization as well as the ability to use this little joystick, kind of like back in the Atari days, and take advantage of 4-channel stereo, which was a popular feature at the time. I'll share with you why it's not hooked up. Here is the inside of the 4000. They're literally all individual cards that plug in, almost like a board in a computer. And there are literally thousands of solder joints, of which I probably resoldered about 120 of them just to get the unit working. Still couldn't get it perfected. Did a little research on these. It's a common problem. And you know what? It sounds just fine by using the preamp outs on an integrated amplifier, regardless of what sometimes people say about separate preamplification. Point in case was the Yamaha C2. Actually didn't sound as good as the Onkyo, and that's quite a legendary preamplifier in itself. Part of it may be that Yamaha sound signature, which I find a little bit thin. They call it the natural sound. Some people really like it. I like a little bit of that romantic kind of sound to my music, in that I don't mind a little bit of bass, a little bit over accentuated mid-range. I mean, that's what kind of live music's all about. It doesn't sound perfect when you're listening to a band, and that's what makes it so great. Let's have another little listen here. Now, I did have just last week a Yamaha MX2 hooked up in here, and I will say that was an impressive amp. It really bewildered me in such a small package, the control. This thing here, though, She can boogie as well. So if you're into 70s muscle and you've got some demanding speakers that need some real current, a powerful amplifier, the Phase Linear, it'll definitely do it. Now, something to look for on the Phase Linear power amplifiers, they are notorious for if something goes wrong, it goes real wrong in them. What I mean is DC straight to the speakers and poof, your speakers are gone. So it's a good idea to have installed some fuses on the speakers to protect them in case something happens. This one here, after I went through it, I sent it to my favorite tech to double check it, and it's running A-OK. If you can find one, I would expect to pay minimum Canadian about $800, maybe as high as $1,200 for one in fantastic condition that's been serviced. So yay or nay? We're definitely going to give it a yay. I mean, looks alone, you got to give it a yay. And it sounds pretty darn good too for a 1970s power amplifier. Thanks for joining us today on Vintage Vibe.